Hey, grace and peace. Listen, there are 5 entrepreneurial lessons that I learned, and this is going to help new and aspiring Christian entrepreneurs. Before I share them with you, check this clip out. I'll be right back.
I just got fired. How do I find what my interests are that I'm good at? I don't know.
What I talk about in the book is I believe that most of life's answers lie within the human heart. And if you will just take a moment and look over your life and see what were the things that you did that when you did them, the gleam came in your eye and energy came into your spirit and you couldn't go to sleep for thinking of creative ways to do them. Wherever those areas of interest lie that invigorate you, those are areas of passion. And passion and purpose are interwoven together in such a significant way that if you follow your passions, you will discover your purpose.
Hey, I'm back. Listen, hey, this is another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast where I am your host, Randy. Let me get into this real quick. Bishop T.D. Jakes is one of my favorite preachers. But not only that, he's one of my favorite entrepreneurs. And so, number one, this is what he talked about. He shares in this video, in this podcast, how important it is to persevere. So perseverance and resilience is number one. Now I'm going to read some notes here that I wrote that I thought would be very applicable to this episode. So Bishop T.D. Jakes emphasizes the importance of perseverance in the face of challenges. He suggests viewing setbacks, watch this, as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. For aspiring Christian entrepreneurs, this is for you. This means cultivating resilience and tenacity, understanding that failure is a natural part of the journey to success. Instead of letting setbacks deter them, they should use them as, watch this, motivation to keep moving forward. Say that with me. Keep moving forward. That is the message to you. Keep moving forward. I got to continue here because I could stay right there. Trusting that God has a plan, even in difficult times. My friend, it is important to you. It is very important that you persevere and that you gain some type of resilience in the very thing that you're facing. I know you have this big dream. I know you have this big goal and this big opportunity that you feel that is laid before you. You have to be resilient. You have to persevere. I cannot stay here because I have to go to number 2. I'll be right back. I'm back. Number 2, self-awareness and evaluation. Let me go to my notes on this. Bishop T.D. Jakes encourages individuals to develop self-awareness and the ability to evaluate situations objectively. This involves recognizing one's strength and weaknesses. So you have to recognize your strengths and your weaknesses. Understanding personal motivations and being honest about areas that need improvement. In the context of entrepreneurship, this is for you. Self-awareness allows individuals to make informed decisions. Pivot when necessary. You got to learn when it's time to disconnect and repivot and go after something else, okay? And learn from the mistakes. We have to learn from our mistakes. That is very, very important that you learn from your mistakes, not wallow in your mistakes, not cry over your mistakes, although mistakes may cause tears, but don't stay there, but you have to learn from them. Here it is. By evaluating both successes and failures, entrepreneurs can gain valuable insight that contribute to their growth and development. So we have to gain some type of self-awareness. And in the heat of the situation, while you're pursuing your dreams, while you're pursuing your entrepreneur endeavors, you have to evaluate where you are, know when to pivot, know when to disconnect, know when to re-engage, know when to take a small, I'm not saying take a large sabbatical, but sometimes you have to take a step away from what you're pursuing. This is what I'm learning as we speak. So that was number 2. I got number 3. I'll be right back. Back with number 3. Listen, Bishop T.D. Jakes talked about adaptability and evolution. Let me go to my notes here. In the podcast, in the little snippet that I shared with you, in that podcast, this is what I learned. It highlights the importance of adaptability and evolution in both business and personal life. Bishop T.D. Jakes underscores the significance of being open to change and willing to evolve with the times. How last year is different going to be how this year is going to be. You have to know how to adapt to the evolution of time. This includes staying attuned to market trends, right? Customers' needs. So when you have your business, you have to attend to your customers and technological advancements. Now we are in a time of AI. This, from my understanding and from my research, this is a great time for business ownership. This is a great time, especially in the online space, because according to Forbes, in 2025, it is expecting to skyrocket, the digital space that is expecting to skyrocket $325 billion. That's billion with a B. So technological advancements are right here. And I know the church is kind of apprehensive to this thing called AI, but if you use it to your advantage, you can accomplish a lot of things. Listen, don't get into all of this AI fibberish, if you will, talking about they're going to take away jobs and everything. We don't know. We don't know what God has in plan. We don't know. As it is right now, God is in control. God is in control. I'm not worried about a robot taking my job. I'm not worried about it, because there's some things that a robot cannot give, right? So don't worry about a robot replacing you. I gotta go. I got to continue. Listen, for Christian entrepreneurs, I'm talking to you. Adaptability also means being receptive to the leading of the Holy Spirit. You got to be led by the Holy Spirit and adjusting plans accordingly. I can't stay right there. I got to continue to go. By embracing change and remaining flexible, entrepreneurs can position themselves for long-term success in a dynamic and ever-changing world. My sister, my brother, I'm talking directly to you. This is your opportunity. This is your time. If you're waiting on a sign, if you're waiting on a word from God, listen, this is your word. This is your word as we speak. This is your time to go get exactly what you need to go get. Okay. Listen, I got number 4, but I got to come back. One second. Listen, number 4. So we just went over number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now we're on number 4. And you want to stick to the end because number 5 is going to bless you. Number 4, attention to details. Attention to details. In this particular episode with Bishop T.D. Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes emphasizes the value of paying attention to the details. He suggests that greatness often lies in the ability to respect and attend to the small things. In the context of entrepreneurship, this means being meticulous in every aspect, watch this, of business operations. This is what I'm learning. This is what I gained from that. From product design and customer service to financial management and even marketing strategies. By focusing on the details, entrepreneurs can enhance the quality of their offerings, build trust with the customers, and differentiate themselves from the competitors. I think this is so key because even God himself paid attention to the details, because I mean, even in the beginning, in the book of beginnings, in the book of Genesis, here it is, we find God stepping out on nothing and causing something to happen out of nowhere, out of nowhere. All he said was, let there be, and there was. Now, I'm not saying we have the power and the ability to create like God creates, but he did give us this brain. He gave us this brain to create within our proximity. You know, there are ideas on the inside of you. There are talents on the inside of you. There are things that God has caused you to dream about at night that you cannot fight. Those are the things that were instilled in you. And I'm not saying that you need to be the jack of all trades, but you need to utilize these gifts to monetize for the greater good, for the betterment of servicing people. Because all entrepreneurship is just a means of solving a problem. This is what I've learned. This is what I am learning as we speak. Entrepreneurship is nothing more than just solving a problem. Solving a problem. And if that dream that you have, if that vision that you have can solve a problem, 9 times out of 10, it can monetize for your benefit. I gotta go to number 5 because I know you've been waiting for it. But before we go to number 5, listen, I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm back. Number 5, you've been waiting for it. Listen, from this particular episode, this is what we find. Number 5 is relentless commitment to the vision. Finally, we see in this particular episode with Bishop T.D. Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes stresses the importance of maintaining a relentless commitment to one's vision. You have to be relentless. I don't care what people say. I don't care what your family is saying. Listen, your vision is what God gave you. This is your vision that God gave you. You said God gave you that vision. You said God gave you this dream. Listen, pursue it. I don't care what family says. I don't care what friends say. You may have to break away from old soul ties. Soul ties doesn't necessarily mean relationship between a man and a woman. But sometimes soul ties can be related to friendships, tainted friendships that are causing you to be hindered, if you will, from pursuing that thing that God has called you to do. So here it is. He encourages entrepreneurs to stay focused on their goals, even when faced with obstacles and setbacks. This unwavering dedication requires faith, perseverance, and resilience, as well as willingness to, adapt and learn along the way by remaining steadfast in their pursuit of God-given dreams. We just talked about that. Entrepreneurs, Christian entrepreneurs that is, can overcome challenges, inspire others, and ultimately fulfill their purpose in the marketplace. Listen, overall, I believe Bishop T.D. Jakes is saying this. Regardless of what comes, come hell or high water, your gift is not just for the church. Your dreams are not just for the church. Of course, the church can benefit from it. But I believe God has called us to do more than just work a job, than just work a 9 to 5. I don't think God put you here. I don't think God put me here just to work a 9 to 5, work 40 hours and only retire with 40% of what I worked for. I'm from Flint, Michigan, and you know what? That's where GM started. That's where Ford Motor Company and all of those entities started. And I was talking to somebody years ago. He worked for GM. He retired because back in those days, I want to say during the 50s, maybe 60s, that was the prime time to live in Flint, Michigan. People were graduating high school, not going to college, but they were going straight into the plant. He said, when I retired, only GM gave me was Cadillacs and cancer. And my word to you, my friend, is to not allow, just to encourage you not to be handcuffed to your 9-to-5, but leverage your 9-to-5 to build a side hustle, to build a side business, to build a side entrepreneurial endeavor, just like I'm trying to. Grace and peace. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Legacy Inspired Podcast, where I'm your host, Randy. I'll see you on the next episode. Grace and peace.